This is Haneda Airport, located near the center of Tokyo. As you see, many media have been waiting from early in the morning for the plane carrying the Olympic flame to arrive. The chartered Air China plane arrived from Australia at 6 in the morning. A red carpet was laid and the flame was handed over to the Chinese ambassador to Japan. The flame then headed for Nagano, the host city for the 1998 Winter Olympic Games. More than 130 people, including Chinese staff now called flame attendants, who would escort the torch relay runners, accompanied the flame in a convoy. The flame's journey appeared to be going smoothly, but when the convoy stopped at a rest area, some people suddenly appeared and waved a Tibetan flag. Shortly before noon, the flame safely arrived at a hotel in Nagano where Olympic officials are staying. But local people are puzzled to see such heavy security in the city.
なんかおまわりさんとかいっぱいいて、ちょっと楽しいイメージはないのかな。ここまでしてやる意味があるのかなって思います。
何も騒動が起こらずに平和に終わってくれればいいなと思ってます。
Police say they are doing all they can to secure the torch relay. Two of the Chinese flame attendants are to run with torchbearers, but their role will be limited to managing the flame. Police officers will surround the runners to protect them from possible attack, and spectators may not be able to see the runners well. The torch relay will start from 8:30 Saturday morning local time. 80 people, including celebrities, are to take part in the relay. 3,000 police officers will be deployed along the route to provide for emergencies. Susumu Shimokawa, NHK World.
Demonstrators are also arriving in Japan. The Paris-based media freedom watchdog Reporters Without Borders says they'll stage a peaceful protest during the torch relay in Nagano. Members of the group disrupted the Olympic torch lighting ceremony in Greece last month. Upon arrival in Japan on Friday, the advocacy group's Secretary General Aurel Menal spoke to a news conference in Tokyo.
Je serai à Nagano pour manifester pacifiquement, avec évidemment ce t-shirt, avec cette banderole, avec ce petit badge que je vous donne, qui dit liberté en chinois.
The international route of the torch has been marked by controversy, tight security, and protest. It all raises the question, is it a sacred fire or just a flashpoint? At the end of March, a welcome ceremony for the Olympic torch was held in Beijing. The Chinese government said it hoped to share the enthusiasm for the Olympics and work together to build a harmonious world. The torch will travel through 19 countries on 5 continents before returning to Beijing for the opening of the Olympics on August 8th. On 6th of April in London, protests erupted. The protests criticized China's handling of the unrest in Tibet. When protesters tried to grab the torch, London police said 37 people were detained. Then the torch was carried to the United States. San Francisco was the only U.S. city to host the relay. In San Francisco, something strange happened soon after the relay began. The first torch bearer disappeared into a nearby warehouse. Nearly 1 hour later, the relay resumed on a different street with 2 torch bearers running. While scuffles broke out between police and some demonstrators, there were also clashes between Tibet supporters and pro-China protesters. Referring to the disruptions, both the Dalai Lama and China made a statement.
I sent a message to Tibetan in San Francisco area, please don't make any violent sort of activities.
旧金山的市民都以热烈 和隆重的方式来欢迎火炬的传递。奥运火炬将风雨无阻继续传递，任何势力都无法阻挡的。
The South American and the African leg of the Olympic torch relay ended without any major disruptions. Then the torch arrived in India. It has the world's largest Tibetan exile community, numbering 100,000 people. One day before the relay, the Indian Olympic Association held a news conference. They announced that they had downsized the length of the torch relay to 1/10 of the original distance.
And its safety is our responsibility.
Without announcing the exact starting time, the relay started under a tight security. A total of 15,000 police officers were deployed along the route. Later in the day, about 5,000 Tibetan refugees gathered for a protest rally with handmade torches demanding freedom in Tibet. After visiting Nagano, Japan, the torch will go through several more Asian countries before heading back to Beijing. It's scheduled to travel through a number of Chinese cities, including Lhasa, the capital of Tibet, the site of recent rioting by Tibetans. The United States is ratcheting up pressure on North Korea to fully disclose its nuclear program. The White House has released photographs